Hi, everybody. My name is Adam, and today I am here with my group, the Four Marketeers, and we will be presenting on Chapter 5 from Predictable Prospecting, Getting Meetings Through Prospecting Campaigns. So here's a quick overview of the topics we'll be covering this chapter in this presentation. If you want to give them an in-depth read-through, just go ahead and pause the screen. All right, so we're going to be starting with life cycle of a lead. So first, we want to define what a lead is, and it's someone you want to sell to or is interested in your product or service. As someone working in sales for a company, you want to chase leads in order to bring in a profit. The process of gaining leads can be outlined in the life cycle of a lead, as you can see. The first step in the life cycle is a new lead. A new lead may come from white paper downloads, which is like a PDF of information that somebody can download from your website, or from a rented list that you rent from a third party. The next step in the process is to accept or reject the lead. If accepted, the new lead transitions to working contact status. Now, there's three main reasons why you might reject a lead. The first is that sometimes the data is just too corrupt to clean. The second is a salesperson may think that the lead is just too low quality for what they're looking for. And the third is that the lead was assigned to the wrong salesperson, and so they would label the lead as not my account. So going back to working contact status, it's important to properly secure a meeting with the lead, right? If securing a meeting, it's important to then change the contact status to no response or interest so that the prospect lead can be set aside for a short time and then be approached at a later date. That's if they're not responding to you as when you're trying to set up a meeting. The next step in the life cycle is qualifying contact status, sometimes known as concerting. This stage comes after the meeting is secured. If the lead is not up to muster or otherwise just not qualified or what you're looking for, then you can disqualify the lead, set them aside, and come back to them at a later date. So now we've almost reached the end. You've secured a lead, had a meeting, qualified them, and now you are converting them to closing status. You get your ducks in a row, and once finished, the lead is converted to the final stage, customer. Now, if for some reason the lead doesn't purchase anything, you change them to lost status, and again, set them aside and come back to them at a later date. So I'm going to hand it off to Talia now.
So when to add granularity. Granularity is all about breaking things down into smaller, more specific steps to better target prospects. Adding granularity can be super helpful when a broad approach isn't getting the right results. Maybe you're dealing with different types of customers who need unique messaging, or maybe it's unclear where prospects fall in the sales funnel. In these cases, getting more detailed, segmenting leads by industry, behavior, or level of engagement can help make outreach more personalized and impactful. But here's the thing. Granularity isn't always a good idea. If we get too detailed, we risk overcomplicating things. If our segmentation becomes so specific that it shrinks our prospect pool too much, we might miss out on great opportunities. And if the data we're using isn't reliable, adding more layers of complexity, it could actually make things worse instead of better. So the key is balance. Granularity should help clarify, not create unnecessary obstacles. So building a new queue. A queue is basically a structured way to organize leads so we're reaching out to the right people at the right time. Instead of randomly contacting prospects, we want to be intentional. One of the biggest factors in building a queue is understanding the difference between inbound and outbound leads. Inbound leads are the ones who come to us first. They might have filled out a form, signed up for a newsletter, or engaged with content on our website. These leads already have some level of interest, which means they're often easier to convert. Because of this, inbound leads should be prioritized based on their level of engagement. Outbound leads, on the other hand, are the ones we actively seek out. This could mean cold emails, LinkedIn outreach, or even traditional sales calls. Since these leads aren't always familiar with our brand, the approach needs to be different. Outbound leads generally fall into three categories. First is house lists. These are leads that come from our company's existing database. They might include past customers, website visitors, or people who have interacted with us before. Since they already have some level of familiarity with our brand, outreach should focus on re-engagement and nurturing. Second is rented lists. These are leads that we temporarily gain access to from a third party. They might come from industry events, trade shows, or partnerships where we get access to a list of potential prospects. These lists can be useful for short-term campaigns but require careful messaging since the leads don't have a direct connection with us yet. And lastly is the purchase list. These lists are contacts that we buy from data providers. While they can give us a large volume of leads, they require extra filtering and personalization to make outreach more effective. Since these leads haven't opted into our messaging, it's crucial to ensure compliance with privacy laws and use strong messaging to capture attention. A good prospecting queue balances both inbound and outbound leads. The goal is to stay organized, prioritize effectively, and ensure that no lead falls through the cracks. And lastly is building a new queue as a continual process. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. They build a queue once and they think they're done, but the truth is prospecting is an ongoing process. Markets shift, customer behaviors change, and data improves over time, which means our outreach strategy needs to evolve too. So how do we keep our queue effective? First, we need to regularly update our segmentation. What worked a few months ago might not be the best approach today. We should also analyze what's working and what's not. If a certain outreach method isn't getting responses, it's time to tweak it. And lastly, automation tools can help streamline the process so that we're always engaging leads at the right moment without manually tracking everything. When we treat queue building as a continuous process, we set ourselves up for long-term success. And now passing it on to Katya.
Thank you. So why referrals matter? Think about the last time you recommended something, a restaurant, a product, maybe even a service. You weren't selling it, you just liked it. That's why referrals work. Referred leads close twice as often and stay longer because they come from a trusted source. And interestingly, when people refer someone, they actually feel more committed to the company themselves. A great example is Dropbox. They gave users free storage for every friend they referred. Simple, valuable, and incredibly effective. 60% of Dropbox's signups came from referrals. Referrals don't just bring in new customers, they create loyalty too. How to build a strong referral program. So how do you make a referral program work? The book breaks it down into 4 key steps. 1, deliver value first. People won't refer unless they genuinely love the experience. You have to be referable first. Next is ask at the right time. The best time to ask is when customers are happiest, usually after a great experience. Companies use NPS surveys to find these customers and ask them when they rate a 9 or a 10. Make it easy, so no one wants to fill out long forms. One-click referral links and pre-written messages make sharing effortless. And lastly, offer smart incentives. So the reward should feel like a bonus, not a bribe. Tesla, for example, gives free supercharging miles of cash. It keeps customers engaged without feeling transactional. So customers aren't just the only way to get referrals. The book highlights 3 more sources. One is partner referrals, so businesses can exchange leads with complementary companies. A CRM software company might refer clients to a marketing agency and vice versa. Employee referrals, so employees have valuable industry connections and can bring in high quality leads. And lastly, community and networking, so LinkedIn, industry events, and business groups are great for generating referrals outside of direct customers. Sometimes direct referrals aren't possible, so businesses need to think bigger and tap into their networks. Referrals for a program to be truly effective, companies should follow 3 best practices. Keep it simple. If it takes more than a few seconds to refer, most people won't do it. The process should be quick and effortless. Provide transparency, so keep referrers updated. A simple "your referral just joined" email keeps it engaged and more likely to refer again. Offer smart incentives. So beyond cash, VIP perks, beta access, or even charity-based rewards work well. Patagonia, for example, has a plant a tree referral program where customers can have a tree planted instead of receiving a payout. So the best referral programs are easy, transparent, and rewarding. At the end of the day, referrals work because they're built on trust. So when companies make sharing effortless, they win. And now I'll pass it over to Juliana.
Thank you, Katya. Now, when approaching your prospects, there's 2 basic methods, and there's a lot of similarity between the both of them, but there is one fine line that separates them from each other. So when it comes to multi-touch, it's more directed towards one specific communication method. For example, email. They stick to emails to reach their clients and possible future consumers. Now, when it comes to multi-channel, this is where they use multiple channels to contact those specific prospects. So they could, for example, email them the first day, and then maybe on the third day, they reach out to them through call, through other social media platforms, and even LinkedIn. Another big thing with multi-touch, they really focus a lot more finely to the timeframes because, like I said, they only use one method of communication. Also, for multi-channel, it's important that you can reach out to your prospects in an appropriate manner and also show that you have interest in what they're seeking or what they need. It makes everything a little more personalized and a little more unique, so you can definitely catch their attention a little bit easier. For a sample outbound, ideally you would want to structure everything well, follow a protocol so everything is organized and easy to get to the point. So like I listed before, maybe the first day for a multi-channel example is email the first day. On the third day, maybe do LinkedIn. On the fifth day, maybe call them. Whatever seems it works whatever seems to work best for them. So it's more personal. Also, when you are reaching out to them, you shouldn't be too persistent. It might come off as aggressive and you might lose some interest from prospects.
So let's talk about precedence planning. Precedence planning is a term that is used for what is like the light version of pre-call planning, and it's optimized for like low to moderate volume multi-touch campaigns. Basically, you're planning on how you're going to approach calls, or in the book's example, emails, with a client in a light or moderate amount of times. While precedence planning, it is important to personalize cadences. In other words, make yourself and your outreach personal to each client, which shows that you care. Now, to personalize your cadences, you need to research your clients. You don't want to do too much research, though, because only about 1 in 20 prospects schedule a "Are we a fit" meeting in response to your personalized cadences. So you should try and learn 2 pieces of information in about 10 minutes or less. Social media sites like LinkedIn are fantastic, but also you can look for professional industry, newsletters, or just go to the company's website to find information. Before researching, it's important to log information into your CRM, which is customer relationship management software, so that you have it saved and don't in a central place. Now, your first piece of the 2 pieces of information should be about the prospect as an individual. This is where LinkedIn and other social media come in handy. The second piece of information should be about the prospect's company. So this is where the website or some kind of industry newsletter comes in handy. Using these skills and information gathering resources, you can create a more effective message to try and make a sale to the prospect or the lead.
Now, it's important to use your selling tools tactfully. So, to be able to, again, communicate well with your clients, your prospects, and show that you have caring for whatever they're interested in. And also, as Adam stated before, if you are looking into their, for example, social media presence, make sure you're not going too far and doing too much. And also, for a CRM example that is definitely useful that I think all of us know about is HubSpot. Now, there's more to HubSpot than just taking courses and earning certificates. It's actually very helpful when you're trying to gather information and resources like sales, marketing, and even customer services.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it and that you learned a lot.